For the best mobile home investing advice, subscribe to our channel, hit that bell, and be notified when we drop new videos every single week. And I know that's what we thought when we got started. So it took a lot of dedication and persistence just to get your first deal. Nonetheless, continue to build a business or do multiple years in the industry. So I think that's really, really great advice. Would you recommend, a brand new person that's like, hey, I want to do real estate investing. I feel this is the way for me. Would you recommend them to start flipping mobile homes first, maybe to get their feet wet? Is that something that you would recommend? Or would you say there's other ways to, get into real estate that might be better?
There are many other ways to get into real estate. I don't know if I consider it better or worse. For example, there's plenty of people that buy mobile home parks. They've never even owned a mobile home. They've never bought one mobile home. There's some people that, invest in traditional home. Well, actually, I don't even want to talk about traditional homes because I don't really know that much. So I'm not going to say what those people do. So, but there's clearly folks that have no previous experience jumping into something else. And I do think it comes down to your wants and your goals and your local supply and demand and your time and your capital. And so if you can take people out to lunch, if you know that there's an apartment guy that you want to talk, or an apartment guy that does a lot with apartments, or this mobile home guy, or this self-storage guy, or this college guy that does things with college homes. If you can take those people out to lunch and ask them questions and develop relationships, not pick their brains, nobody wants that, but ask them, make it a conversation. If you're going to really be in this business for a long time, these are the people that you want to know. Like, you're not going to have a short-term business. So going back to your original question about mobile homes, the way that and you both know this, the way that I kind of want to work with people, or the way that I think if you're going to do one mobile home deal, you should dominate your market. Like, if you're going to do one, it's important to get clarity on your market, see who's selling what, and then make a bunch of offers and move forward with the path of least resistance. And that takes time. Like, if you could just go to one park and say, okay, I'll buy this one and I'll make a little bit of money. And if it was like that easy, like picking things off the shelf, and we could just turn around and make money, yeah, everyone should build up their cash flow until they can do something bigger. But mobile homes, it's going to take a lot of time, even to get your first deal, in my opinion. Not a lot of time, well, like 40, 50, 60 hours of like dedication, of hard work, of, however fast you can cram that in, but it's going to take time. So, but mobile homes do offer, it's clear I don't think we could even debate on it. It's clear that like mobile homes, they're one of the more affordable ways to get into real estate. You can also wholesale. That's a big buzzword, wholesaler. But there definitely are positives. If somebody wants to get into mobile homes, I would say though, if still take people out to dinner or lunch, make sure that you want to get into this, because if you're saying, okay, I'm just going to get into mobile homes at the beginning, that's fine, but still think of that beginning as like at least a 1-year period of like building up a bunch of cash flow, cutting learning a bunch of lessons, and then that can lead you to something else in real estate. I didn't even know that like commercial this was available, or I didn't even know that this was a thing. So it's like, as long as you're active and in the business and taking action, that's important. And it's so easy to spend money. Like, be frugal. Like, don't, because you have the money, don't mean you have to spend it.
Right.
So kind of jumping around here on a couple things, but mobile homes might be the best, but then they might not. Like, take people, understand what you want to do, and then kind of check things off. Like, I don't want to do this, or I want to focus on this. And I think you should focus on one or two things in the beginning.
You mentioned mobile homes. Mobile homes are, of course, everywhere throughout the states. Would you say there's a hotter market than another? What do you consider the hottest markets in the nation?
My market's the hottest market. Yeah. 'Cause I'm here. No, it's not true. The metro markets, coastal markets, that's not always true either. Some metropolitan markets, most metropolitan markets, like if there's, here's the thing that makes it like a hot market. In most areas around the country, financing is difficult. It's difficult to go to the bank and finance these homes. In many areas of the country, there's just not a lot of people that want to live in a used mobile home with cash. There's not a lot of people that want to buy a used mobile home in a park that have 20 grand laying around, 40 grand laying around. That's just, they're out there, but there's not many of them. And then thirdly is there's not that many of us investors doing this. So that's true in many areas of the country, but in some areas of the country, it's not. Financing still is pretty difficult, but when you get into coastal areas, hotspot areas, metropolitan areas where there's just more people and there's a high demand and a low supply of even just regular houses, that's going to drive the demand of mobile homes up. And in those metropolitan areas, in those areas where people want to be, in the coastal areas, people have money. Like some people have money. So there's just more people with cash. So the hotspot areas are the areas with more competition, but it's not competition necessarily from investors or from people that want to go to the banks. It's like the same competition tax time. There's more buyers in the market that have cash. So, but then again, still there's homes, there's parks, there's managers, there's sellers that even in those hotspot areas, we're still doing deals. And you might have to buy the home for more, but you can sell it for more, or you can sell it for a higher down payment or get cash easier. So there's pros and cons, but to answer your question, definitely metro areas, more so, and then like coastal areas.
That's perfect. Yeah, I definitely agree with that. I want to know, I know you've been in the industry for a while. What are the negative stigmas that mobile homes or trailers get, and that you've been able to kind of see through or overcome? And especially if any of those stigmas kind of been placed on you for being an investor or kind of working in this market?
I don't think that there are any stigmas. I'm just kidding.
Okay, I was like,
like maybe this guy doesn't know what he's talking about. No, that was, in fact, the first couple deals, it took at least 6 months. I started going to real estate investor club meetings before I had my first deal. And I went weekly. Like I was the young guy on the block, and I go less now, but I need to go more. But I used to go all the time. So, but it took me like 6 or 7 months of doing deals. In my first year, I got over 14 or just over 14 deals. But I was embarrassed to tell people what I was doing. Like I didn't want to be the mobile home guy. I didn't want to associate, like, it's a little embarrassing now that I didn't want to, but I totally had that feeling where I didn't know enough. I wasn't confident. I was young and I wanted to, be flashy. I wanted to have nice things. I didn't want to associate myself with mobile homes. That's not real property. That's not real land. It wasn't a big feather in my cap. And it was so stupid because that's ridiculous. Once I started talking about it, and once I actually stood up the first few times at the real estate meeting and was telling people what I was doing, I don't remember how many people, but a lot of people, everyone was clapping. And then people were like giving me leads. They were saying, John, we don't want these. Like, you should have told us sooner. People didn't want these leads. Other investors were turning their noses up to them. And they still do. These aren't $1 million properties. There's definitely pros and cons, and the people that buy them and the people that live in them. I like that. I mean, I wonder if we were doing this interview and I only dealt with $1 million properties. I wonder how different I would be. I bet I'd be very different. I bet I'd be very different. So the mobile home stigma is definitely out there, and to be honest with you, I kind of want it. I kind of want to keep it that way. Like, yeah, I mean, but to be fair, there's bad apples in every bunch. You have millionaires, there's bad apples in there. You have people that can, live paycheck to paycheck. There's some bad apples in there. So it's just, it's definitely the stigma of, lower income, trashier people, which is so ridiculous. That's just easy for me to say because like I might have some alternate agenda or something, but it's no, these people, like there's good people in every sort of demographic, and we look for those good people. Like we want to sell to good people. We want to have good renters. We want people that are quality people. So no, there's a ton of stigma. And then I guess in the beginning, no, I couldn't see through it. The only thing I saw was the profit. Like in the very beginning it was like, okay, I'm buying this for $3,000 and on payments, and I know I can at least get $3,000 when I sell it. And the same with the one on land. Like in fact, if those two deals weren't, like if I didn't set the bar high enough, I talk about this somewhere else, but if I didn't set the bar high enough in those first two deals, I don't know if I would keep going because number one, those set the bars high, and I was able to kind of like, I kept trying to clear that bar every deal, which was good. But then it also, like if the first two were just skinnier, I might not still be doing this, or I might be like, mobile homes suck. Don't do it. Look. So, but I hope that helped. little bit.
Absolutely.
So you can register for our free web class at the link below this video. And if you want to join a community of investors just like you, we have started a Facebook community where we share our latest tips and tricks and advice on mobile home investing to help you navigate this sometimes tricky space.
So if this video was helpful, be sure to subscribe, hit the like button, and hit that bell button so you can be notified when we post videos every single week.
See you later.